Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Kizzy and today I'm going to be doing a baby book haul. It's a very small one, but I wanted to show you these books because some of them are just the most beautiful books I've ever had in my possession in my entire life, and I want to talk about them, and I don't want to wait until I've bought more because I'm actually trying not to buy that many books because I want to get my TBR that I own down before I start buying new books. So, and I also can't afford it, but that's a whole other story. So it's a baby book haul. I have just a humble 5 books to show you, but I promise you they are pretty incredible books, so I'm excited. So the first book I have to show you is one that I don't think I've it might have been on my TBR video that I just filmed, or like that went up for June, but that is the Circus of Wonders by Elizabeth McNeil. And it is like, it's got a stunning cover anyway, like look at that shine, but it is the end pages that make this book. Like, have you ever seen anything like when I saw it in the shop, I was just like, I took a deep breath, I was like and I like ran to show my mum. So like, it's just so beautiful. Obviously it matches the pattern on the front. This is a independent bookstore exclusive, I believe, with the sprayed edges. I don't think you can get that from like Waterstones or like online. You might be able to get it from the bookstore.org. Is that the one? The shop that sources books from independent bookstores, but I'm not 100% sure. So check out independent bookstores. It might still be there. I got this a few weeks ago, so I think they should still have them. But it's just beautiful, and I'm reading it at the moment, and it is a beautiful book as well. And look at the bookmark I got for my birthday from my friend. It's got my initials on it, and it's nice. It's green and my 2 favourite colours. It's beautiful. This is a book that follows a girl who has been born with birthmarks all over her skin. So she's like grown up being taken like fun of, and like people think that she's got like a disease and she doesn't. And then she's kind of sighted by this circus that comes to town, and her father decides to sell her. He's not a very nice person, obviously, and he sells her to the circus, and it's kind of her finding her way, finding love and romance, and just being an independent person. And it follows 2 other main characters, Jasper, who runs the circus, and then his brother, who's kind of like the underdog, like he's very shy, and he's a photographer, so he takes the photos, promotions for that. But there's also kind of repercussions from a war that's happened. I'm assuming it's based on historical events, but I wouldn't be able to say for certain, because it does talk about actual historical characters that were parts of circuses, and kind of how they were perceived and how they impact the characters in the book and stuff like that. So I think it's like maybe a mixture of like fiction, historical fiction maybe, and real events, perhaps. I'm only halfway through, but it's quite good. So the next book I've got is a one in a series that I'm very excited to continue, but it's massive compared to the first book, and that is The Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. This is a chunky boy, like 650 pages. The first one I think was less than 400, so it is an up, like it's going up from the first book, but I'm super excited to get into it. I think this was also maybe on my TBR for the month, but I can't really remember now. I am not reading very much recently, so I need to start focusing more and getting things done so that I can get to this one. But The Royal Assassin is like just an incredible fantasy book. It's quite slow, and like it's very character focused rather than plot focused. It does obviously have a plot running through it, but it's the book that you kind of get to the end of and you don't realize how much has happened until you get to the end of it in such a short amount of time. Like, you've got so much world building and character development, and kind of like, because it's so slow, it creeps up on you of how much you've actually learned and spent with these characters. So it was a good book, and I'm excited to continue on with it. And it follows Fitz, who is a bastard child of a prince, I want to say, and he is taken and kind of raised to be an assassin because he's in this unique position where he has royal blood going through him, but he's not actually part of the royal family, so he can get and go places that they couldn't and do assassiny stuff. It's good, it's good. I would recommend. I'm excited to get to that one, but I just bought that one recently, or not recently, since I last did a book haul, so I thought I would include it. The next one is another one that I bought kind of recently, and that probably people aren't surprised that I bought, and one I probably will get to quite soon because I think it will be quite an easy read just because it's Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo, and I obviously know this story and the world and everything that goes along with it. It is the 7th main book in the Grishaverse kind of world. It's the second book in a duology of the 3rd series in that world, and I think it's a duology, so I think this is like the end of that idea, that story arc. So I'm excited to get to it. It is just under 600 pages, so it is actually quite chunky, but like, I mean, it's quite big writing. I'll maybe need to refresh my mind on what happened in the last book. Like, I can remember the main things, but I don't know, so I'm gonna have to refresh myself. But I think I think I preferred the King of Scars cover, like with the gold, but I think the silver still really works. Like, it's very shiny and nice. Now this book, I saw it, I think this is also probably on my TBR. I need to refresh my TBR, I can't even remember what's on it, but this is a book that I walked into Waterstones, and I was on my break, and I was like there for like 5 seconds, so you only get like a 5-minute break, and I didn't expect to buy anything, but I just saw this on the shelf and I was like, I gotta have it. And I picked it up and I bought it, and it is the Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. This is signed by the author, but it is just stunning. Like, look at that cover. Like, the blue is so deep, and like the gold, and it's just beautiful. And the end pages, if a book's got a good end page, I feel like they know what they're doing, you know? They know what they're doing, because there's just like an extra touch that you don't expect, but it makes a difference. They're just stunning. Just so beautiful. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. This is a Greek retelling. It follows Ariadne, and she is to do with the Minotaur and that kind of storyline, which is not one that I've read very much of. Like, I think it comes up in Circe, but I haven't read a retelling of that specifically, so I'll be interested to see it and to delve into this world and all that good stuff. So I have saved the best book for last. Like, this book is the reason I wanted to do this video, so it's just great. It is beautiful. I saw it on Instagram and I was like, I want to buy that, but it was £25. It was a pricey book, but the storyline sounds right up my street. And then I saw it in physical, like I actually saw it in the bookshop, and I just could not buy it basically because it's just stunning. And it is Honeycomb by Joanne M. Harris. She is the author that wrote Chocolat, which I didn't realise, and also the Loki series that I haven't actually read, but I know of her stuff. I didn't like Chocolat, but I'm intrigued by this one. This sounds like something that I would like because I like the style of sea. It is apparently described as many short stories that then come together, like to be like a main narrative, which is basically what the style of sea kind of is, although it's more like multiple storylines told simultaneously and then they get pieced together. But I think this is actually short stories that then, I don't know. This is what the blurb says. Actually, let's just look at the cover first. I mean, it's made out of like fabric, so like, you know, like the English library, like the posh ones. So it's like a cloth bound, like the cloth bound editions, that's what they're called. So it is cloth bound, so it has like a quality to it. It's got those like gold foiledness. It's got bees and like beautifulness on it. And then it's also illustrated. So if I find, like, throughout it, it has these beautiful like illustrations, and they're in colour, and like, it's just so beautiful. I've also got them in like just kind of like doodle ones, and like it's like basically a collection of fairy tales, I believe, that then come together and make like a main narrative or like a main theme or something, or like, I don't know, but I want to read it. So this is the blurb. It says, long ago and far away and long ago, the world was honeycomb. We know the worlds were honeycomb. Rich, dark and opulent, cocooned in silk and shadows, this is a novel unlike any other. A honeycomb built from 100 cells where each cell is a story in its own right. Follow the lace-wing king, trickster and ruler of the silken folk on his misadventures through the many worlds, pursued by both the vengeful Spider Queen and the deadly Harlequin. On his travels through the undersea, the river dream and even the kingdom of death itself, he encounters a multitude of characters, a watchmaker's boy, a huntress with a mechanical tiger, a princess who dreams of a library, but none more magical than the bees, the little builders of Honeycomb, spinning their nectar into stories. This is a stunning and original mosaic novel from best-selling author Joanne M. Harris and legendary artist Charles Vess. It sounds like, it sounds so good, like it sounds right on my street. It's like fairy tales, piecing things together, beautiful illustrations, beautiful writing. It was worth every penny that I spent on this. Hopefully. I haven't read it yet, but I'm very excited and it's just so beautiful. One of the most beautiful books I own. No doubt about it. It is just incredible. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So yes, this was my little birthday present to myself and it's just incredible and I hope to read it soon. So that's all I have for today. Very small little baby book haul, but hopefully, I don't know, I was like, I should buy more books to do this book haul, but I feel like that's pointless. Like, these are just the books that I've bought recently, so that's the books I'm going to show you. And I hope it's okay and it's not as dramatic as like those 60 book hauls that people do. A little baby one. I hope you had a good day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you were interested in any of these books because they are beautiful and hopefully good as well, even though I've only read half of one of them. But hopefully they will be good books as well. If you have read any of them, let me know what you think because that's always interesting too. And I will see you in another video very soon.